Have you ever wondered why some people seem to get what they want effortlessly, while others struggle to be heard? Influence is the silent force that shapes every aspect of life, from career success to social dynamics. Those who understand it rise faster, command attention, and inspire action. Those who ignore it are left wondering why no one listens to them. The biggest misconception about influence is that it's manipulation. It's not. True influence isn't about deception. It's about understanding human nature and working with it, not against it. Schopenhauer once said that people's minds are like locked doors. Force them open and they resist. But find the right key and they open willingly. Influence is that key. It's about knowing which triggers unlock trust, attention, and compliance. Humans are wired to respond to specific patterns: certainty, authority, social proof. These are not tricks. They are deep psychological principles that guide behavior, often without us realizing it. The overlooked truth is that influence isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the most strategic. The most powerful influencers don't push. They pull. They don't demand. They guide. They know when to speak and, more importantly, when to listen. The best part? Anyone can develop this skill. You don't need to be born charismatic or naturally persuasive. You just need to understand how people think and how to present your ideas in a way that makes others want to listen. The moment you master influence, the world starts to move in your favor. Because in the end, success isn't about who works the hardest. It's about who moves people the smartest. People judge you before you even speak. It's not fair, but it's reality. Within seconds, they decide if you are confident or insecure, trustworthy or suspicious, important or forgettable. And once that impression is made, it's nearly impossible to change. Schopenhauer understood this long before modern psychology confirmed it. Perception isn't just reality, it becomes reality. So how do you take control of this process? It starts with the signals you send. Most communication isn't verbal. It's in the micro-expressions, posture, and tone of voice that others pick up on instinctively. Walk into a room with your shoulders back, head held high, and a deliberate pace, and people will perceive you as someone who belongs. Slouch, avoid eye contact, or fidget, and you trigger an entirely different response, one that tells others you are uncertain, hesitant, or weak. Your tone matters just as much. A steady, measured voice signals authority. A rushed, nervous tone undermines your credibility before you've even finished your first sentence. Even the slightest hesitation can make others doubt you. This is why some people can say almost anything and be believed, while others struggle to be taken seriously no matter how logical their arguments are. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Mastering first impressions isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about making sure the world sees you as you intend to be seen. Because whether you realize it or not, you are influencing people every second you're in their presence. The question is, are you doing it consciously, or are you leaving it to chance? The most persuasive people in the world don't force agreements. They make others want to say yes. The secret isn't pressure, debate, or aggressive tactics. It's subtlety. Humans are wired to respond to certain psychological triggers without realizing it. Reciprocity, scarcity, and authority are among the most powerful. When someone gives us something, attention, a compliment, or a small favor, we instinctively feel the need to give something back. This is why great persuaders never start by asking. They start by giving. A gesture as simple as genuine appreciation can lower defenses and make someone far more receptive to your ideas. Scarcity plays into another fundamental human instinct: the fear of missing out. People value what feels exclusive, limited, or difficult to obtain. The moment something seems too available, it loses its appeal. This is why smart influencers never beg for attention or approval. They create an air of exclusivity that makes others want to earn their time. Authority, on the other hand, isn't about titles or power. It's about presence. People trust those who sound like they know what they're talking about, even before verifying if they do. Confidence, certainty, and calmness create the perception of expertise, and in persuasion, perception is everything. The key to guiding conversations without appearing forceful is understanding that people resist direct pressure. The moment someone feels they're being convinced, they push back. But gentle nudges, small, consistent influences, are absorbed without resistance. The best persuaders don't argue, they guide. They plant ideas subtly, let people come to their own conclusions, and allow them to feel like it was their decision all along. Because in the end, the most powerful persuasion doesn't feel like persuasion at all. It feels like the truth that was there the entire time. Most people believe logic is the key to influence, but Schopenhauer saw the deeper truth. People are not logical, they are emotional. You can have the most well-reasoned argument in the world, but if it doesn't make someone feel something, it won't change their mind. Emotion, not reason, is what drives decisions. Influence is about understanding emotions in real time and adjusting your approach to match them. Reading emotions is an art, but the clues are everywhere. Subtle shifts in body language, tone of voice, and micro-expressions reveal far more than words ever could. A forced smile, a momentary hesitation, a quick glance away. Each of these signals tells a story about how someone really feels, no matter what they say out loud. The best influencers don't just listen to words, they listen to everything else happening between them. One of the most powerful emotional triggers is mirroring, subtly reflecting someone's body language, speech patterns, and energy levels. People trust those who feel familiar, and nothing feels more familiar than our own mannerisms being reflected back at us. Mirroring creates an unspoken connection that lowers defenses and builds trust without a single persuasive word being spoken. The final key to making people want to listen is presence. Most people don't listen, they wait for their turn to talk. But true influencers make others feel heard. They listen, absorb, and respond in ways that make people feel understood. And once someone feels understood, they become infinitely more open to influence. Influence isn't about making people see things your way. It's about making them feel like you see things their way first. Because once you do that, they'll be ready to follow you anywhere. Influence is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used to build or to destroy. Ethical persuasion is about guiding people toward decisions that benefit both sides. Manipulation, on the other hand, is influence with a hidden agenda. The most dangerous part. It often happens so subtly that you don't even realize you're being controlled. Manipulators exploit psychological triggers to shape your thoughts and actions without your consent. One of the most common tactics is emotional blackmail, using guilt, fear, or obligation to force compliance. If you really cared, you would do this for me. After everything I've done for you, you owe me. These statements aren't arguments. They are weapons designed to make you feel trapped. Then there's gaslighting, making someone doubt their own perceptions so they become easier to control. That never happened. You're imagining things. You're too sensitive. The goal is simple. Erode your confidence in your own judgment until you rely on the manipulator's version of reality instead. Social pressure is another powerful tool. The human brain is wired to conform. We instinctively avoid standing out for fear of rejection. Manipulators use this against you, making you feel like the odd one out if you don't comply. Everyone else is doing it. Don't be difficult. The moment you stop thinking for yourself, you become easy to control. The best defense against manipulation is awareness. Once you recognize these tactics, they lose their power. Understanding how people manipulate makes you immune to it. You stop reacting emotionally, start questioning motives, and reclaim control over your decisions. Influence is inevitable, but whether you wield it or fall victim to it is a choice. Influence isn't just about what you say, it's about who you are. The most influential people don't just communicate differently, they think differently. They exude confidence, command attention, and make people feel drawn to them without effort. This isn't luck, it's mindset. Confidence is the foundation of influence. The way you see yourself dictates how others see you. When you walk into a room like you belong, people assume you do. When you speak with certainty, people assume you know what you're talking about. Insecurity, on the other hand, is just as contagious. The moment you doubt yourself, others will too. True confidence isn't arrogance. It's certainty. It's the unshakable belief that you have value, whether others see it or not. Charisma is the perfect balance between warmth and power. Too much warmth without power, and you become likable but unconvincing. Too much power without warmth, and you come off as intimidating or cold. Charismatic people know how to blend both seamlessly. They engage others with genuine curiosity, make them feel important, and then lead them with quiet authority. They don't demand attention, they attract it. The final key to the influencer's mindset is mastering delivery. The same words can inspire or be ignored based on how they're said. A slow, measured tone commands authority. A deliberate pause creates anticipation. A well-placed silence speaks louder than words. The best communicators don't just talk, they perform. In the end, influence isn't about learning tricks or memorizing techniques. It's about embodying a presence that people naturally respond to. When you carry yourself with confidence, project charisma, and speak with authority, you don't need to convince people of anything. They simply believe you. Influence isn't reserved for CEOs, politicians, or public speakers. It's the silent force behind every successful negotiation, every strong relationship, and every moment where one person's words or actions change another's mind. The ability to influence is the ability to shape the world around you. But the difference between those who struggle and those who thrive comes down to one thing: understanding that influence isn't about control. It's about leadership. In business, influence separates leaders from followers. It's what makes people trust your ideas, respect your decisions, and follow your vision without being forced. The best business leaders don't just give orders, they inspire belief. They don't push people into agreement, they make them want to be part of something bigger. The same applies to relationships. Whether it's friendships, romance, or family dynamics, influence determines how people respond to you. A person who knows how to listen, communicate, and guide emotions will always have deeper, stronger connections. Those who demand, argue, or manipulate might get temporary compliance, but never real loyalty. The ethical way to persuade isn't about tricks or coercion. It's about alignment. It's about understanding what people want and showing them how your perspective, idea, or solution helps them get there. True influence happens when people don't feel pressured, but empowered. This is why the most persuasive individuals are also the most respected. They don't take power from others. They give it to them. The secret to becoming the kind of person others want to listen to isn't found in tactics. It's found in presence. People listen to those who make them feel something. Confidence, conviction, and emotional intelligence are far more important than any carefully crafted argument. When you speak, do people stop and pay attention? When you walk into a room, do people feel drawn to your energy? Influence isn't something you do. It's something you become. Mastering influence means understanding that leadership is about guidance, not control. It's about making people see what they're capable of, not forcing them into decisions. The most powerful influencers in history didn't demand obedience. They created movements. They didn't manipulate. They inspired. And once you master this, you'll see it everywhere, in business, in relationships, in every interaction you have. If this video resonated with you, don't just keep this knowledge to yourself. Influence shapes the world, and those who understand it will always have an advantage. Subscribe to the channel for more insights into psychology, influence, and personal power. Because in the end, the people who master influence aren't just the ones who succeed, they're the ones who shape the future.